Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. So I want to say over 6 months ago, back in February, a bunch of you guys were asking, what's up with Volkl? How come you don't do Volkl rackets? And I feel like it's happening again. They're like, what about lesser known brands like Volkl? I hear you guys, but there's been a problem. It's called supply chain. So I'll explain more. Hold tight. So back in February, I had a lot of requests saying, can you review a Volkl C10 Pro? And I thought to myself, that would be a good video because I used to use that racket, I want to say 20 years ago. C10 Pro, for those of you guys don't know, is a small head, very flexy control racket from Volkl. It was one of their most flexible rackets, player sticks back then. It probably still is. And so I made a phone call and I sent an email off to Volkl, my rep, and they're like, okay, it'll be in May. Well, didn't come in May. So I said, hey, what's up with the racket? June. Nope. July? Nope. August? Nope. So now it's September 20th. And it arrives. So ordered in, benefit of the doubt, March 1st. It's September 20th now. That's a long time, but I'm a patient man, and I finally got what you guys requested. So, a C10 Pro. C10 Pro. 3/8. Oh, it's still the signature yellow. Check these specs out, guys. 98 square inches, 20 millimeters. 11.6 unstrung. 11.6 unstrung. 1.3 inches headlight. 27 inches, 16 by 19. 55 plus or minus 5 on the strings. We used to string these guys at 60 pounds with Pro Blend. We ain't doing that now. So looking at the specs, what does it remind you of? Well, the closest thing would be a Yonex V-Corp Pro 330. That 11.6 tells us that it's going to be close to that. Man, I haven't felt one of these rackets in 20 years. Literally 25-year-old technology that players used to love. Like, all the players love this stick, even the players on tour. So I'm going to string this up with some confidential and see if the magic is still there for this old dude that's me, and see if it works for a young dude like Coach Andrew. Maybe we'll get Chris into the mix too to see if we can get kind of a middle benchmark, let's say. So yeah, excited. After 6 months of waiting, it's finally here. It feels and looks the same. I remember it was black and yellow back in the day. So let's go. Let's go out to the court. Excited to try this thing. On the court now. Got my man, Coach Chris. Got the Volkl C10 Pro. I think Coach Chris and this racket are about the same age. Let's see what he thinks. Chris, this racket is as old as you are. Not this physical racket here, but a version of this racket. This racket is timeless. It's been in the Volkl line for, I want to say 25 years, maybe a little more than that. So, first impressions.
Yeah, I've not really played with that many Volkl rackets, but after hitting with this, it's definitely really stable. I felt like it reminds me of playing a little bit like with the Prestige Pro. It is throwing me off a little bit with how the oval design is, but hitting through, and like if I wanted to have more like if I wanted to whip through it, if I wanted to hit, yeah, exactly, put a little bit more pace on it, I think this handles pretty well. It's quite stable too, and I mean, definitely another one to consider if you're at around that intermediate range of kind of tennis player or club player. An interesting racket to demo because it is actually really stable, and I think Volkl is trying to bring it back now to make something a bit competitive to the other popular rackets out there for sure.
So Coach Chris, back when I played with this racket, this racket kind of only wants you to do one thing. Let it rip, baby. Yeah. Let it rip. Because if you didn't let it rip, it didn't do what it was supposed to do. So it's definitely meant for the aggressor. You swing hard, you connect, and it goes exactly how you want it to go. I feel like Peter Korda was the face to this racket. You know who Peter Korda is, right?
Yes.
You do. Sebastian's daddy.
Oh, there you go.
Nellie's daddy. Jessica's daddy. You know, the original Korda. I think, at least. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys can tell me. Anyways, this signature shape has been kind of the shape of Volkl for a long, long time. They all used to be shaped just like this. Kind of like an egg shape, like Coach Chris is talking about.
Yeah, like his head.
Like my head, right. See? I'm a Goody Tama. This is the Goody Tama racket. So you see it stick out right here? You see it stick out right here? This actually causes the racket to flex in this area. Therefore, the sweet spot actually is a little lower here. If you tag it just right, which is a little lower in this racket, you get kind of a plush hot knife through a butter kind of a feel. So this has been like one of my favorite rackets for a long, long time. I'm very happy that they've kept it in the line, even though it took them 6 months to get it to me. So Coach Chris, it took them 6 months to get this to me.
Wow.
A lot of people were asking, can you try a C10 Pro? And I'm like, man, I used to play with that racket. I ordered it back in February. What month are we in now?
We're in pretty much end of September, yeah.
Yeah, see? Okay, it took 6 months to get it to me. But, I mean, that's a supply chain issue. I don't fault Volkl for that. But at least they got it to me. Okay? Coach Chris, is this one of the rackets on your list to play with now?
Yeah, I actually think so. I think, like I said, Volkl, I haven't really tried that many, but I would recommend it for anyone who's like looking for another racket to demo and try out. Like, give Volkl a try. It's actually really stable and really reliable too.
Let me show you some numbers. 330 grams, note before strings.
Wow.
16 by
19.
Right, so this is a pretty heavy racket in stock form.
Yeah.
So that's why I think we both like it a lot. All right, I want to thank my man Coach Chris for hanging out with me today. Where can we find you, Chris?
You can find me at C10 Tennis, and I'll post some content there as well.
All right, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.